if you're ready, I will do a quick introduction.
Okay, so let me ask if our TA is inside the meeting. I see him. Yeah. Okay. I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So hi everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to this first coding workshop taught by Lawson. My name is Loretta, and I'm the Associate Director with the Entrepreneurship Center. Here with me, my colleague, Cherry, the one who's waving. We welcome you. And it's going to be a long session, 2 hours. So Lawson would recommend a quick break, a toilet break at about 5 o'clock for 5 minutes. So it's just going to be like a bathroom break, or if you want to get some water. So without further ado, I will pass the time to Lawson, and let's give a round of applause to welcome Lawson.
Hello, everyone. Hello. So this is Lawson, the lecturer of this lesson, and I saw some students asked me they didn't get the attached file from the last email, so maybe I will send the handout of this lesson to the chat room. So if anyone doesn't get your handout, please download it from the chat. Lesson 1 handout. So. And also, I would like to introduce Eddie Chan. So maybe you can find him inside the chat room. He is our data scientist of OneShop, and also he will be the TA of this lesson. So if you have any question during the lesson, please feel free to voice out inside the chat room, and he will try his best to answer everyone.
His name is Eddie.
Yes, Eddie Chan. Yes. Yeah, here's our data scientist. So he's responsible to analyze the statistics from of our platform.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so let's get started. And so please make sure you have downloaded your handout. And so does anyone can see the handout clearly?
Yes.
Okay, so let's get started. And our trial course has consists of 2 lessons. So lesson 1 is talking about something we call it back end and front end. We are going to talking about the differences of back end and front end. And hands on, we are going to do is almost focusing on front end, because we're going to do something we can see first, and backend is something about logic, so we can't see any results. And also it is more complicated than front end. Okay, so this is today's outcome. I hope that everyone can do this card. So and staying on the screen today. And this is our rundown. So we are going to have some concepts about front end and back end. And then we're going to learn about HTML and CSS. Maybe you are familiar with these terms. HTML, it is the fundamental language of to writing a website. But please don't think it is simple or something that is not related to mobile app, because the concept of to writing a website is very similar to writing a mobile app. And also, I would like to introduce a tool called React, because once you learned how to use React to write a website, it is really, really similar to writing a mobile app with React.js. Okay, so let's get started with the basic concept first. So the first chapter is backend versus front end. I would like to put some concept into your brain to know more, to understand what is server and client, and that is backend and front end. We usually refer backend to is server side, and front end is the client side. So what is server side? Server side means the program run on server, then we call it server side. And usually we means that it's a backend program. And the client side, most likely they are running on your devices and maybe your mobile phone and your desktop. And the client side program runs on the browser on your mobile phone or desktop. So please bear in mind, the server side and client side means where the program runs. And that is the server side and client side. The program runs on server side, then we call it server side program and backend program, okay? And the program runs on the client side program, we can call it a front end program. So it's clear? Okay, so we're going to the next slide. So this is a basic concept. It does not have a big effect if you don't understand the slide. Okay, so I believe everyone has been downloaded your Visual Studio Code. Does anyone still need time to download it and install? Nope. Please make sure you have this program on your computer. Yeah. If you don't, it will be hard to continue the lessons for the remaining time. Okay. Yeah. So if anyone doesn't install yet, please go to this website, code.visualstudio.com, and download and install it.
Someone asked, any extension I need to download inside Versus Code?
Nope, just this program. Yeah, it's enough. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yes. So yeah, okay. Then we're going to introduce the first thing we're going to learn called HTML. So HTML.
Sorry, lost in a student raised hand. What's your question? Can you speak up? Someone raised their hand just now.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I was
oh, okay. Maybe
okay.
just press the wrong button.
Yeah.
Let's
mind.
move on. Let's move on.
Okay. So, what is HTML? HTML is a language. Yeah, tells browser how to display the content. So just you can treat browser as a person, and his job is to draw the website on the browser so you can display the website to the users. So HTML is the language. It's a medium to tell browser, oh, you can draw a picture on the top left corner and draw the paragraph at the center of the website. So please remember that it is a language to tell browser how to display the website in front of the users. And why do we use it? Because it is a language we need to standardize the ways for everyone to write the website. Just like English is a universal language, so everyone knows that and everyone can communicate across different countries. And we use HTML tags to describe the websites. Text is very important, and it describes the whole structure of the website or the layout of the website. And some hints: HTML is the abbreviation of a hypertext markup language, and the latest version is HTML5. Okay, and below the image shows a basic HTML looks like. Okay, so around 11 lines of code, then it can consist a very, very basic website. When you open up this HTML file, you will see "Hello World" in your browser. Yeah, just a single sentence. So everyone clear at this slide? Okay, so let's move on. And I'm going to talk about the essential element of HTML. So it is HTML tag. So those tags constructs the whole website. We always start the HTML document with this tag. This punctuation is called and dot type means we use these tags to represent we are using the latest version of HTML. And the second line is the start of the document, HTML. And you will see at the last line of the code has another tag. We call it closing tag. It has a slash. In front of the tag name. Okay, so line 2 and line 13 including the whole including the whole content of your HTML. And inside the HTML tag, we have a head tag and a body tag. The head tag is to including the settings of your website. Each website has a title. Okay, so your website's title is called My First Website. And the meta tag represents what languages I'm going to including inside this website. If we have some characters, maybe Thai characters, Chinese characters, we need to set the dictionary, the character sets to UTF-8. UTF-8 is a universal dictionary, so almost all languages, including these character sets. So also some CSS, we call it style sheet. Style sheet is to make up your HTML, so it makes your website good looking. So those are the settings of your website. Please bear in mind, your settings is need to including inside the head tag. And then the body tag. All contents you can see through your eyes are including inside the body tag. If you put something inside the head tag, it's not a practical way to display the content, and also maybe you can't see the content if you putting some content inside the head tag. Remember, put the content inside the body tag. And inside the body tag, you can start to construct your website. So div, it means division, because we're going to split, we're going to divide the content into a lot of boxes. Okay, so we use div tag to divide the boxes. And there are lots of different texts to represent different elements. Maybe P is stand for paragraph, and the stand for inline text, and also ing, it means image. Okay, so those texts you can find them through the link below. So if you want to write a more complicated website, welcome to visit the w3schools.com to find a reference for yourself. So we are going to start a hands-on practice now, and we are going to display a very simple sentences by making a very simple website first. So everyone, please open your Visual Studio Code now. Let me share my desktop. So we can, no matter you are using Windows or Mac or Linux, please create a file called index.html at your desktop first. So create a file at your desktop, so you're more easy to find where the file you're putting on. And create a folder. We create a folder first, lesson 1. We create a file called lesson 1, and let me share a Visual Studio Code. So when you open your VS Code, you may see the picture like this, and then click File and Open. Maybe something wrong with my VS Code. Okay. Does anyone can open the folder? You should see something like this. When you created a folder called lesson 1, and then open it, use VS Code. You use your VS Code to open it, and you may see an empty folder inside your VS Code. Okay, so then we are going to create the first HTML file. So we are going to write a very simple website inside this file, and we name it to index.html. You may see the symbol. Maybe the symbol display on your screen is quite different from mine, because I installed some plugins to display. So I showed some different icon. Okay, so after that, click on the file, and we're going to start to typing, to coding. The first line, usually we're going to start with this tag. This tag means we're going to use HTML5 version, the latest version of HTML, and at the second line, it's the starting point of your document. Okay, you will see those tags. If the tag is going to contain or including some elements, some content, we will have a opening tag and with a closing tag. And the only difference of between the opening tag and the closing tag is the closing tag has a slash here before the name of your tag. Okay, please bear in mind. And inside the HTML tag, or if you would like to add some content inside a tag, please give it a intent, or you're just pressing the tab button on your keyboard, so you can see the hierarchy of or structure of your website. Then you can know it very fast. The head tag is inside the HTML tag because I given it a tab, a intent. Okay, so inside the head tag, we are going to give it a title. So you can name it whatever as you like. So this is my first website title, whatever. And then the second tag is method. So you may see some tags just have the opening tag and have a slash at the end of your tag, because those tags, they are not going to display any content inside them. So we can just typing it like this, because the meta tag is a settings. So we can just giving it a opening tag and connect the closing tag together like this. And inside this tag, we are going to input some settings in. Okay. The meta tag accepts this thing called character set, CHARSET. And the character set we're going to use is UTF-8. So this website are able to display Chinese character or Japanese characters. Okay. And okay, that's it for the hack tag. And next, we're going to put some content into the website. The body tag. So we're going to give it a very big header, H1, okay. And header is hello world. Every programmer starts with this sentence, hello world, and hit save. For Mac, you may press Command plus the S key, Command S to save your document, and when Windows, you can press Control S to save your document, or you can simply click the button on the top bar, File, and Save. Okay, then let's see what will it output on the browser. So go to your lesson 1 folder, open your lesson 1 folder, and then this is the lesson 1 folder, and double click double click it. So where is my browser? Browser. So browser and double click. You see, this is the first website you have ever made. And this is a very simple website, consists with a content called Hello World. And then you will see the title. This is my first website's title. So now you may understand that the title goes here and the content goes here. Okay. So does anyone have some difficulties to continue or have any questions? Yes, lesson 1 is the folder. Yes, please remember that you're going to create a folder called lesson 1 at your desktop. Okay. And inside the desktop, inside the lesson 1 folder, create a file called index.html and put those code we just typed inside the HTML file here. And hit save. And after you save it, and open it directly by double click the file, and you will see the results inside the browser. Clear? Okay. So please feel free to ask any questions, and our Eddie will help you. Okay, this is a very simple website. Okay, then we are going to make something more complicated. Okay, so I'm going to introduce nested text. Actually, you do it before. So when you're putting something inside a body, you're putting title and the meta tag inside the head. You are doing something called nested text. Okay, because there is a tag. When there is a tag inside another tag, and that tag is a nested tag. Okay, so this is the website inside the picture at the picture. Okay, and normal people, they will see the picture like this. Okay, a navigation bar and some button on that and some text. Okay, but if you're a developer, you will see it in this way. Okay, because everything inside a website, it is a box. We call it box model. They have a upper border and the left border, right border, and the bottom border, and everything consists with it. And then each box can contain more than one box. So you will see these big boxes is the nav bar, and consists 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boxes inside it. And the whole websites are using this kind of layout to construct. So we can have a very flexible layout to construct different kind of website and use the CSS. We're going to learn it later, and using CSS to make it beautiful. Okay. So this is a very basic example of nested tag. Okay. Line 11 to line 18. Okay, line 11 to line 18. Can anyone tell me how many tags inside between line 11 to line 18? Just shout out your answer inside chat room. How many elements or tags inside the tag at line 11? No. I just find the most correct answer is Thomas. Thomas' answer is correct. 2 within 1. Line 11 to line 18 is a tag. Okay, it is a div. The opening tag here and the closing tag here. And inside this tag has two tags, okay, two tags, two elements. This one, I'm a nested tag, I'm a nested div, this one. This is the first tag. And the second tag is this one, I'm also a nested div here. So line 12 to line 14 is a tag. And line 15 to line 17 is another tag. So this is a tag, including two nested tags. Okay, so we can use CSS to alter the layout, so we can have some different we can position different tags by using CSS. So we are going to learn it later. Then we are going to have another hands-on practice to do something like this, to have an image and have a title and have a description. Okay, so we're going back to the VS Code and keep editing this file so we can do something like the image I showed you before. So just have a final preview of the image. So we are going to have an image, a title, and description. Okay, we're going to use nested tag to do it. So put it here. First of all, we put a division here. To this division is the wrapper of the whole things we are going to write. And if you would like to put some comments inside the code, you may press Command and the question marks at your keyboard. Then you can see this thing. This symbol means command, and you can put your commands between it. Okay, this is the wrapper. Okay, we're going to write a card. Okay, and the orders is image, and then the title, and then the description. Okay, so how to display image inside a browser? We will use image tag to display a image, but maybe we missing something here because the image tag itself is the image. Okay, so it will not contain or include any text inside it because the image itself is the image, this tag. Okay, then we need to provide some settings to the image. The image tag will request you to provide the link, the location of the image you're going to display. So the settings name is called src. src, as it mentioned inside the VS Code, it is the source of the image. Okay, so we need to specify the link the image we're going to display. Maybe you can search some image you would like to display inside the website. So I'm going to copy some image here. So we're going to copy an image. If you would like to copy the link of an image, just right click on the image and then and copy image location. Okay, after copy the location and go back to VS Code and paste. Oh, it's a bit long. Okay, so hit save. Okay, and under the image tag, we're going to add a title, H2. This time we use H2. H stands for header, and the smaller number, the bigger font size. So H2 is smaller than Hello World. Okay, so maybe this is some title goes here, and description we're going to use paragraph. Okay, blah 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 blah. Okay. So I give you 10 seconds to type to finish it. And I see there are lots of questions inside the chat room. Okay. You may use a picture from the local. Yeah. But please bear in mind, once if you want to publish some website into the cloud, so everyone can come and access your website, you cannot use local files, because when you put it into the cloud, so everyone has the access to the cloud, but they don't have the access to your computer. So if your image link is pointing to your computer, as most likely the image aren't visible to the others when you put it to the public. Okay. So, okay, time's up. And we're going to save your file and go to the browser to see the results. Refresh. Okay, so this is the image. We put it inside the code, and this is the title. You will see Hello World is a little bigger than this one, and the paragraph goes here. But you will see all things are very, very big. It's a kind of the distort inside the browser, because we still lack of something. Yeah, we need to add something inside the website, CSS, and so we are going to learn CSS now. What is the mean by H1, H2? Okay, so I see some people still need more time to follow the code. Okay, here. Okay. Yes. So H1, H2, we have H1, H2, and don't copy this. Okay, H6. The bigger number has a smaller font size. But why we use header to display those things? You know, you always search things on Google or some search engine. Those engines, they have something called scrapers. Okay. The scrapers, they visit all websites and they look at the header and the paragraph. So when you perform some search on Google, okay, let's search something on Google. Maybe and you will see this one. This is the website's title. Why Google they knows the title of the website? Because they put this on the web page. So Google search engines, the scraper knows, oh, this is the title of the website. And the main title, so the main content of the website is come from here. So we use paragraph. They're trying to looking and analyze the content from the first paragraph of maybe the second paragraph. So this place here. Okay, so using the right tag to display your content is important if you want to have a high SEO ranking. Okay, so everyone is finished this piece of code. Okay, so let's go into the second section. So you can practice for yourself at, regarding to the nested tag. If you don't use nested tags, everything will align from top to the bottom or from left to right, because you can't put things inside another tag. Okay, but if we use nested tag, you can position everything like that. It's very flexible. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the attributes of HTML. You might notice that I have specified the source, the location of the image are going to display inside the image tag, or the character sets inside the meta tag. Okay, the character sets and the source SRC is we call it the attributes of a tag. The attributes is providing some additional information, so it is the settings of the tag, because the tag itself, they don't know how to display the content correctly sometimes. For example, image, if you don't provide the image link to the img, the image tag, it has no way to display the image, okay, because they don't know because it don't know what image you're going to display. And for the ALT, it stands for the alternative. Okay, ALT tag is for the disables, because some people they can't see. So when they use their special device, those devices can read the web page out. Yeah, they can read, and so this person can listen, and they can describe the image. Okay, even they can see, the device still can describe to read it out, the image, what image is. Okay, what is the image? Okay, so when you are trying to write a website, please remember that add the ALT settings, the attribute inside the image tag. Okay, and also different tags has different attributes. You see the hyperlink tag, we call it the A tag. Okay, so click me to visit or click me to download. So I think everyone is familiar with that. So the href is the hyperlink reference. So this, where does it go of this hyperlink? We need to specify that. Otherwise, this hyperlink can't be clicked. Okay, and the target attribute, it means if it is a new web page, do we need to open a new tab and display it, or just redirect the current web page to the link, to the target link? Okay, so those attributes, we have a website, we have so many references on the internet. So you can take those reference from here. The W3 School is a very good resource for you about big knowledge. So W3 is good. Yeah, because I can't teach all tags and all attributes inside this lesson. So please go to the references, and here goes here to learn things you want to learn, the tag references and the attribute references. Okay, so there are so many references you can use. Okay, so please spend some time. If you still want to write a a good looking or functional website, please be familiar of some of attributes. Okay, so going back to the slides, we are going to have another practice. Is trying to create a hyperlink. Okay, then going back to the VS Code. Okay, we're going to add another tag inside the card we just made, the A tag. Yes, the A tag. Okay, And the image tag, I think you guys are very familiar with that. Also the alternative tag. Okay. And a hyperlink tag, we call it a tag. We must specify the hyperlink reference. So where does it go? If someone clicks on the a tag, we need to specify the link of it. So maybe we're going to visit google.com, okay, HTTPS. And so what tags are going to display in front of the user of this hyperlink? Maybe we can type click me to visit google.com. Okay, so save it and open it inside your browser. Refresh. Here, the link goes here, and then when you click on it, goes to Google. But maybe you want it to open a new tab when you click on the hyperlink. Then we need to add some attributes, another attributes inside a tag called target. So what is the target tag? We are going to open this link. If you don't specify the target attribute, then your website will simply redirect to the google.com. But if you specify the target to underscore blank, save underscore blank. Let's refresh and see what it does. Okay, then the website will be opened in a new tab. Okay. So please go to WFE School and read the reference you're interested in, and so you will find that there are lots of attributes you can use regarding to different tags. Then let's get back to the slide. Oops. Does anyone need a toilet break or?
You want to do it now, or you want to do it at 5?
Yeah, we can do it at 5. Yeah, I can still go for the CSS. Yeah. So, we just learned how to construct a website with just with the HTML. Because you try to imagine that you building a website is quite similar to building a house. So you build some walls of your house. So it is what HTML does. It defines the layout, the basic layout of your website. But if you want to make it good looking, okay, paint your wall and put some furniture inside it, we need to use it by CSS. Okay, so CSS does the makeup function to your website. And please remember that CSS has the different syntax of to HTML. So what is CSS? It's describe how to display the elements of an HTML tag. Okay, so why do we use it? Because HTML tag itself, it can just display the content with a very basic style. So we need to use CSS to make it more beautiful. Okay, but if we're going to apply CSS to a website, we can't just use HTML tag to apply it. We'll have a special tag called style, and inside the style tag, we need to follow the rules of CSS to apply CSS to different elements. Okay, so the syntax between style tag is very, very different to what we just did. Okay, and so let's see the syntax of CSS. So inside the picture, there are two sets of CSS. The first one, we call it body, and the settings of that is including in the curly bracket, okay, inside the bracket, okay. So we are going to tell browser, the body tag, the font family are using Korean New. If the browser doesn't support this font, then we have a fallback plan, Korean. And if the browser still having this font, then we are going to use monospace for the font family, okay. And if those fonts family, aren't supported by your browser, then your browser will use the default fonts of it. And the font size is in 15 pixel big, and the background color of the body tag is white. So you can see CSS does the styling function of your HTML web page. And you will see there is a CSS setting called container, but doesn't have a tag called container inside HTML. But you maybe notice that there is a symbol period, the full stop, in front of the word container. It means this one is we define. It means it is defined by the developer. We tell the browser that there is a set of CSS settings called container. So we need to put a full stop in front of it to emphasize this is not the native one. And all CSS not only describing the font size and the color, it also can alter or toggle the position and arrangement of each element. It can affect the content, how to justify them, and the alignments of the items. Okay, so this is the CSS syntax. So we know we have a very simple concept of how CSS works, but how to import it to the HTML, we need to learn this. So we can import the CSS inside HTML. We have 3 ways to import CSS. The first way is external. So we simply create a new file called, let's say, style.css, and then import this file by this file name inside the index.html file. And the second one is simply type the CSS syntax inside your HTML file. And the last one, we call it inline CSS. And we don't recommend you use this way. It is not a very practical way to apply CSS. So we just type style as an attribute and put all those CSS settings inside this HTML tag, okay? Because it is not the readability of your code. It's really low if you do this. So we recommend you to use the style, the external one and the internal one, okay? So we're going to use the internal one when we do the practice later, okay? So let's take a look on the syntax of CSS. There are 3 kinds of selectors. The first one, as we learned from the previous slide, we can simply type the tag name h1 or p or div, and then start with the bracket and end with the closing bracket, and put all those settings inside the CSS you want to apply. Okay, so the first kind of selector, first type, is the native HTML tag. And the second one is the customized one. We start with a full stop symbol, and then we can type whatever you want. The class name you want to specify it. Maybe container, maybe very big title, maybe description. Okay, so just name it with something related to something you're going to display. Okay, and the last one is the most special one. the sharp symbol. This symbol means the ID of your element. Each HTML web page, we can only use each ID for once because ID means identifier. It is unique, and we are not always use it. Yeah, it's not very frequent, but we use the class very frequently. Okay, because trying to imagine that if I applied H1 and have a color red, okay, and tell browser the color of all H1 is red. So the whole web page of the H1 elements text color are going to and will be displayed in the red color. So we always, please remember that, always use class name to specify the style of the element. Okay. And so we're going to implement the CSS right now. So still using this card. Okay, we're going to use this card again. And then, first of all, style. The style tag, you may put it at here, any place you want. But for me, my practice is put it inside the head tag because I treat style as the settings of the website, and the content inside the style tag are not visible to the users. Okay, because it is describing how things are going to display. So the image, first of all, we're going to apply CSS. So we set an attribute name called class. Okay, class, because CSS can affect a bunch of elements by with the same class name. Okay, so we are going to create a class name called card. Okay, remember, put a full stop in front of the class name. And this card has some padding, 15 pixels. So padding means the div itself has 15 pixels between has a 15 pixel space, a large space between this div and its elements. Okay, so we also typed card for the class name. So this divs are going to apply card style, and maybe we can set some background color for this card. So let's choose a color that is you want, red. So VS Code supports the color picker. When you're pointing to the color you just type, you will see a color pickers and choose the color you want. Maybe I choose blue color and hit save. Okay, and go back to the website. Here. And refresh. Then you can see the card we just created now has a blue background color. See? Okay. Then we're going to change the size. Okay, someone asked what is the full stop. So let's talk about two major kind of selector. We call this one is a selector. So when the browser knows there is a selector called card, So the browser are going to find which elements applies the CSS with the name called card. Okay, but if you don't put the full stop before card, you see the color is changed. That means the browser are trying to find a tag called card, which means there is no effect if you don't put the full stop before the card, because the browser are trying to find a native HTML tag called card, which it does not exist inside the native HTML. There is no tag called card. Okay, so we're going to use class. Okay, the type of the CSS are going to apply called card. So we specified the attribute name called class, and the class value is card. So the browser are going to find which elements are going to apply a CSS with the type with the class called card. Okay, but if I set h1, this one without the full stop, so all h1 elements are going to apply this CSS. So I said h1 header has coloring is green. Okay, so let's see what happens. Green. Okay, hello world's color turns to green because I have specified it. All h1 tags has the color in green. So the hello world will be in the green color. So that's why we use the customized class name. Okay, because if you do it this way or this, so all elements will be affected. So we will use a class name to alter the CSS to a specified element. Okay, so then we are going to implement another CSS to the image, but before that I would like to adjust the size of the card. Okay, the size, the width of the card is 500 pixel. Okay, so we are trying to restrict the width of the card because I think it is too wide for the card. And hit save. Then go back to the website and refresh. Then you can see the width of the card is 500 pixels, but the image is go outside the bounding of the card because we have to apply some CSS to restrict to tell browser how to display the image right too. So we give this image a class as well called thumbnail. If we call it thumbnail, then we need to create a class called thumbnail inside style, and the width this time. The width will not be 500 pixel because I want the image to have the same width with the card. So I said I will type 100%. Thumbnail will occupy the full width of the container of the card. Okay. So hit save. Thumbnail here, and then go back to the browser and refresh it and see what happens. Got it? So the image is trying to occupy the whole width of the card as wide as possible. Okay, you may see there is a gap between the card and the image because I applied the padding 15 pixel at the card. Okay, so then it is 5 o'clock and we are going to have a 5 minutes toilet break, and after the break we're going to continue those elements style. Yeah.
Okay, so everybody, it's just a quick toilet break, so please come back on time. So let's aim to start at what about 8 minutes after 5, Lawson? What do you think?
Okay, so it's okay 5:08. Okay.
Is that too rush?
No. Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Good for me.
Yeah, 5:08. Thanks everyone. Yeah, see you in a little bit.
Thank you. See you later.